conference champions get ready for one last battle. It's Colorado State, the best of the Mountain West, looking to air it out against Louisville and a defense that led the nation in interceptions. Can they add to that total? It's the Rams against the Cardinals in the Liberty Bowl. Next.
One of the few bowl games that can say this. Champion against champion in Memphis. Sonny Lubick and the Colorado State Rams. Champions of the Mountain West Conference. 7 points away from an 11-0 season. And John L. Smith and his Louisville Cardinals. Champions of Conference USA. They have come to Memphis for the Liberty Bowl. It's Colorado State and it's Louisville. Chris Fowler and Rod Gilmore. Let's head to the studio.
Morning and welcome to our triple header for Bowl Week. Very high scoring Bowl Week. Yesterday's 4 games, you had 61, 66, 68, and 86 points scored. More of the same today?
You know, we could have that depending on the Louisville defense. If they get the kind of turnovers that they had all season, 41 takeaways. If they make that happen, it could be high scoring. But I like the Colorado State defense. I think it'll be more of a defensive game, especially if Ricky Crow is better. He's had the flu. If he can play well, Colorado State should play good defense.
They'll have to, I think, because Louisville's going to score some points. That's been the M.O. under Dave Ragone. Reminder, this is just the beginning of Bowl Day on ESPN. LSU and Georgia Tech, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, as the Jackets play in their hometown. And then probably the best pre-New Year's Day Bowl matchup. Chris Sims, Roy Williams, B.J. Johnson, Hodges Mitchell, all those weapons for Texas against Oregon in the Culligan Holiday Bowl in prime time at 8:30 Eastern Time. But up next, it's back to Memphis. Matt Newton must avoid interceptions. Louisville leads the country in that category. Enjoy the first half. We'll see you back here at halftime.
My salvation. Who shall fear? Who shall be afraid? I take it to him. I take it to him. We shall not rise. We shall not rise. We will not rise. We will not rise.
These two teams weren't selected for Memphis. They've earned their way to the Liberty Bowl. Colorado State of the Mountain West. From Conference USA, Louisville. They'll go walking in Memphis next. Memphis, Tennessee, on a cold, clear, and crisp December day for the Liberty Bowl, the AXA Liberty Bowl, as Colorado State, champions of the Mountain West, get set to take on the champions of Conference USA, the Louisville Cardinals, number 22 against number 23. Hi, everyone. Rich Waltz along with Don McPherson, and welcome to Memphis. These two teams aren't just happy to be in a bowl game, and Donna, we see that so often. You show up, you get your sweatsuit, you get your ring. Oh, by the way, there's a bowl game. There is a lot on the line for both of these schools.
When you represent your conference in a bowl game, you are playing with the responsibility to play well. These teams are playing for conference pride and not just a trophy. We
have the conference champions and the conference players of the year leading their two teams, both quarterbacks. We start with Louisville, and Dave Ragone, a left-hander, moves the ball around. This is an exciting offense. He's not your prototypical spread offense quarterback.
No, and he's just a sophomore, but Dave Ragone has gotten better each week. He's a tough quarterback with good mobility and a big-time arm.
And he's not hesitant to put his head down and run over a linebacker or two. He's a big kid at 235 pounds. Matt Newton of Colorado State, another big kid and a great leader.
Matt Newton has certainly waited his turn at Colorado State to get the helm of this offense, and they liken him to Gino Torretta, old days of Miami. He's a smart, tough quarterback.
All right, so it's Louisville and it's Colorado State. Down below, awaiting everything, is Holly Rowe. Holly?
Thanks, Rich. It's hard to believe that every bowl game that has been played before this one, this is the first to match up two top 25 teams. Colorado State at 9-2 was just 7 points away from being undefeated this season. A 3-point loss to Arizona State, a 4-point loss to Air Force. For Louisville, they were also one of the elite teams this year. Their only loss is coming to Florida State in a blowout, but the next loss, East Carolina, was a 3-point game. All 4 of their losses in the two combined teams came to bowl teams. These two teams have seen signs all over Memphis this week that say champ versus champ. You better believe this is more than just a bowl game to both teams.
All right, why is Holly Rowe bundled up, you ask? Look at this.
It's cool.
30 degrees, the wind chill at 4, and look at the wind. It's getting up to about 10 to 15 miles an hour. They expect the sun to be out, but they are bundled up. And there's a lot of folks here from Louisville. They expect Louisville to bring between 25 and 30,000 fans here to the Liberty Bowl. John L. Smith, head coach of the Cardinals, his 3rd year. We asked him yesterday, what's the last thing he would tell his team before today's game?
Our younger guys are looking forward to this game from a standpoint of it's a start for them. This is a beginning for our young guys. This is the start of next year, things to come. The vets, the seniors that are leaving, this is your last go-around. This is your last few minutes of time that you ever get to play the game. So go out and make it worthwhile and have some fun, and just make sure you bring nothing back into the locker room. Leave it out there, and whatever happens, happens.
Donnie, when Louisville hired John L. Smith, they were coming off a 1-10 season. This is his 3rd year. This is his 3rd bowl game. He does not have a bowl win, and he told us we want one badly. Sonny Lubick on the other sideline came to this ball game last year and lost a close one to Southern Miss, and he's had a wonderful run of success in Fort Collins. Lubick in his 8th season, back in a bowl game for the 5th time in his 8 years. And both of these coaches are disciples of Dennis Erickson. Erickson, of course, now at Oregon State, won a couple of national championships. Lubick was his defensive coordinator in Miami. John L. Smith was an assistant of Dennis's at Idaho, Washington State, and Wyoming. And the Liberty Bowl with a good-sized crowd on hand, and we're ready to go. Zeke Parker can bring it back. He is 2nd in the nation in kickoff returns, averaging close to 30 yards a return. C.W. Hurst kicks it off for Colorado State, and this Liberty Bowl is underway. Parker at the 6. Parker at the 30. Big hit and a flag down. Eric Pauley with the hit for Colorado State, along with Dexter Wynn. Holding against Louisville. There is Dave Ragone, the sophomore at 6'4", 230 pounds. He completed 61% of his throws this year, 27 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. The #1 rated quarterback in Conference USA. Backs and receivers. Boy, Deion Branch or Arnold Jackson, take your pick in terms of big targets. Jackson is the all-time leader in receptions in the NCAA, and Branch is the big guy this year at 71 catches. Beck's starting lineups, we're ready to go. Ragone's in trouble. Dumps it off, and it's caught at the 16 for a gain of maybe 3. Rick Crow, we heard Rodney Gilmore say, had a little bit of the flu, and he's here and okay, and that's good news for Colorado State. Louisville's offensive line. Jason Padgett is the leader in the middle. This is really a ragtag crew, isn't it, Donnie?
It certainly is, but it's a crew that has matured just like their young quarterback.
The front 4, Hogan, McKenzie, Bennett, and Grau, as in Owl, the junior. Not a lot of sacks for Colorado State this year, just 28. This is Tony Stallings around the left side, and Stallings is out to the 24-yard line, very close to the first down. The defense, it's a 4-3 look for Colorado State. So here are the 3 linebackers. Kroll is the Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year. This secondary is very good, Donnie. It's not a big play secondary, though.
No, but they will come up and hit you. John Howell, the strong safety, the free safety, will come up and hit you. It's a very aggressive secondary.
13 interceptions for this Colorado State secondary this year. First down, Louisville. Ragone. Oh, big hit. Caught by Parker.
As I said, they will hit you.
Justin Gallimore, the junior out of Wheat Ridge, Colorado, with a big hit. Boy, what a catch, though, by Zeke Parker.
What a tremendous job of hanging onto the football. right side of your screen. And their cover 2 team a lot is Colorado State. They'll stay in that zone coverage. That time Gallimore just sat on the route, and Zeke Parker didn't look up quick enough.
On second down. Poor Zeke Parker. I don't know if he's going to be in one piece before this is over. Another nice gain, another catch, and another big hit. Parker holds on, and this time Aaron Sprague does the hitting.
And of their 3 receivers, Parker's the guy they say can make you miss, but he's not making anyone miss on these 2 plays. He's taken a bit of a beating so far early.
But the Cardinal moving the football, another first down. Stallings. Rick Kroll, the senior, out of Chula Vista, California. 125 tackles on the season. That was tops in the Mountain West.
I had a chance to see Rick Kroll play earlier this year, and he just is all over the field. And like I said earlier, he will come up and lay a wallop on you if he gets you.
Colorado State's defense gave up just 328 yards per game.
They're a very basic team. They play a lot of zone. They'll do some zone blitzing. But I expect them to mix things up and play maybe a little more man against Ragone today.
Here comes the corner blitz, and Ragone is very mobile. And another catch, this one by Deion Branch at the 42-yard line. Kroll was there for another hit. It's a gain of 7. And Louisville, little by little, is moving the football.
And that's what Ragone does very well, is get out into the perimeter. He puts the move on Howell, and then once he gets out there, he has that now move. He's moving to his left. He's a lefty. So once he gets out there, he has the ability to throw the football on the run.
That's one element they did not have with Chris Redmond last year, even though Redmond led the universe in passing in his 2 years at Louisville. Ragone, the sophomore, has added a little bit of mobility. Zeke Parker makes a nice pickup of a low fastball, but it was not enough for the first down. Terrence Gibson on the coverage, and Louisville has to punt.
And first series are so important for both teams' defenses because they're playing against outstanding offensive attacks. So this is a big stop for Colorado State to get some confidence on defense.
Chris Sabori is the punter for Louisville. Louisville faked 4 punts this year, so keep that in mind today. Pete Rebstock, one of the better return men you'll see, brings it out to the 34-yard line. Chad Lee made the stop for Louisville. Colorado State's first possession. Matt Newton, similar offense, similar quarterback.
Absolutely. This guy's mobile, but again, he's the veteran. He's very smart.
Our Beck starting lineups: Cecil Sapp, the running back, Jose Ochoa, the tight end. Now Rebstock, Rice, and Lane are 3 very good receivers as well.
And Rebstock's the guy that they're so happy to have back. He was hurt the last couple of games of the season.
Newton, the Mountain West Conference co-offensive player of the year. And he'll put it up. Has his man. His tight end, Jose Ochoa, first-team Mountain West pick, did a nice catch. This is a very good and a very experienced offensive line.
Well, you got a little bit of what they're all about when you saw Justin Bravansky in pregame talking to his team. It's an intense O-line.
The defensive front of Colorado State is a big play front. 50 sacks this year. Michael Josiah had 13 of those sacks. Cecil Sapp with his first carry, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Donnie, it's an interesting look because they run with a bandit linebacker, does Louisville. Basically a mix between a nickel guy, that's Michael Brown. He's a cross between a linebacker and a nickelback.
That's exactly right, and that means a lot of pressure is put on him in the run game to come up and take on sometimes offensive linemen.
This may be the best secondary in the country. It is the best secondary in terms of interceptions. 27 interceptions. Anthony Floyd led the nation with 10, and Rashad Holman had 6.
And they said Floyd was just in the right place at the right time. They're an aggressive secondary. Look for Colorado State to do some pump fakes and other types of things to get these guys out of their rhythm in the secondary.
Here's a look at Anthony Floyd. He and Dwight Smith of Akron both had 10 interceptions this year. We've talked about the offenses, but there are two very good defensive clubs. They have different approaches, though, defensively.
Colorado State will play more zone. They like to use pressure with their front, just their front alone, where I believe also with Louisville, you're going to see them bring linebackers more. They're going to use that Michael Brown in that bandit position and use him to blitz a little bit more from that spot.
Is he more of a linebacker or more of a nickel defensive back?
We'll find out by the end of today. If he's chasing folks, then he's more of a linebacker.
Two tight end set. Colorado State will run it. And on third down and short, very close to the first down. The offenses are very similar. They're both hybrids of the Dennis Erickson spread attack, and you can go all the way back to John Elway's high school coach who started that offense out. The difference with Colorado State, though, is Sonny Lubick in years past has run the ball to throw it. John L. Smith throws the ball to occasionally run it.
And the difference here today in the backfield, Stallings for Louisville is more of a blocking back. Cecil Sapp will run the football and run it often.
That one goes nowhere. Cecil Sapp runs into Michael Josiah.
One of the concerns for Colorado State was that Louisville's front is a lot faster than they expected, a lot faster than they faced most of the year. And right now you're going to see Josiah just come down the line with the speed to beat Showit, the right tackle. So Josiah has the speed to go down the line up front, and that was a big concern coming into this ball game for Colorado State.
Native of Kenya, and he's lived in a myriad of places. His mom worked for the United Nations. On second down, Newton's throw is dropped. Frank Rice was hit and dropped the ball. Donovan Arp had the pressure on Matt Newton. Curry Burns the coverage on Frank Rice.
That team speed is so evident watching these two teams right now so early in the ball game. Louisville is flying around to the football, both in the secondary and up front. They're giving Colorado State some problems.
John L. Smith told us this week one of the first things he did when he walked in the door at Louisville is say, we will recruit speed first. And it really shows. Third down, Newton in trouble. A long throw, and it's caught by Rebstock for a first down. Antonio Roundtree on the coverage. That was an off-balance throw by Matt Newton.
And Matt Newton, knowing that he's getting a strong upfield push, bought himself some time by stepping up into the pocket. You see the rush here on the outside. That's going to force him up into the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield. And Rebstock knows when his quarterback is getting some pressure, he's got to make multiple moves. He's kind of dancing there behind Roundtree, keeping himself alive. And I tell you, Matt Newton is so happy to get this guy Pete Rebstock back.
He finished the season with a stress fracture in his leg, but he is back for the bowl game. And here's Rebstock again. Very strong little guy. Sheds a tackler and gets to the 44. Back to the original line of scrimmage. There is a flag down.
Probably going to get Josiah jumping off sides there.
He's in the Tim Dwight or the Vinnie Sutherland mold. All of a sudden in the last 5 years, Donnie, you see these little receivers who can run and are exceptionally strong.
And, you know, that's a byproduct of how programs have evolved over the years. It used to be receivers didn't spend a lot of time in the weight room, but these guys, as you get a good look at...
Offside, defense, 5 yards, still first down.
And you can hear the wind down there as the referee makes the call, but you look at Rebstock and you look at his arms. He's been in the weight room. He's bulked up a little bit and has the strength, the upper body strength, the lower body strength to fight off tacklers.
First possession for Colorado State in the Liberty Bowl. On 1st and 5, this is Sapp, And Sapp is into the secondary, inside the 25, down to the 23. Rashad Holman and Anthony Floyd finally made this stop. Cecil Sapp, the sophomore out of Miami, no, he is not related to Warren Sapp, although Warren Sapp did play for Sonny Lubick when Lubick was the defensive coordinator at Miami.
Always the initial question is he related to Warren. And you see what happens when you have a fast front and you have a fast defense. They can overrun the play, and Cecil Sapp can exploit that by making cutbacks. And if he gets into the secondary, there's room to run.
Newton, lots of time. Short for Joey Kapari, who makes the catch, but not a real big gain, just a 3-yard pickup.
Kapari, another one of Newton's favorite targets, who's struggling with an injury, but he's back, feeling healthy. You see the year that Newton had with those 20 touchdowns. He's the all-time touchdown leader at Colorado State with 41.
He's been in the program a long time, not 5 years, 6 years. He was not heavily recruited out of high school. He walked on and didn't get a scholarship till his second year on campus. And he's been a 2-year starter and a marvelous performer. Rashad Harris makes the stop on Cecil Sapp. Colorado State now faced with 3rd down and about 5. John L. Smith. Two of 2 on 3rd down on this drive. Newton with time for the end zone. Redstock, no, he couldn't hold it. Anthony Floyd on the coverage.
A well-executed play all around by Colorado State, everything but the catch. What a tremendous toss by Matt Newton, just dropping that ball in there on the corner route. And that offensive line doing an excellent job of protecting him. He had a lot of pressure coming in his face, but was able to drop this ball right in there just a little long.
C.W. Hurst from 36 now, and he's got the wind seemingly at his back, although it has been swirling a bit here. It's a fake. It's his Redstock who's the holder, and he dives. He's very close to the 1st down. Burns made the hit. And let's wait for the mark. Yes, he has the 1st down.
I thought he was going to pitch it. He had Hurst in the pitch relationship. He had the whole thing happening, man. I thought he was going to let him have it. Hurst would have gone in for the score.
Pete Redstock, the talented return man and wide receiver, is also the holder, and here's why.
You talk about having Redstock back and his leadership. Look at him, he just tucks it. He's taking it all the way.
He's not going to let a kicker pick up a 1st down.
That's right. The kicker's going to have the touchdown. He's going to attack that inside shoulder, Pete. And what a great call by Sonny Lubick early in this ball game. I love it. Like I said earlier, these guys are playing for a lot of pride in this game.
Newton to the end zone for Redstock, and he was held up on the corner by Rashad Holman. Rashad Holman is the best cover man on this Louisville secondary, which had 27 interceptions. And they picked off some, not only do they have 27 interceptions, they had some great performances. They played Florida State, Chris Wenke and all, 3 interceptions against the Heisman Trophy winner.
You know, when you have these talented teams coming out of Conference USA in the Mountain West, those big-time programs don't expect the kind of team speed that these teams have, so they get a little cocky, and that's when you come up with those big interceptions.
Cecil Sapp inside the 10, down to the 8. Josiah made the stop. 13 plays on this Colorado State drive. These are the Rams of old, back in the McDougal, Washington days, when they really used to run it, run it, run it. They've changed a bit this year because of the skill of their wide receivers and the great quarterback, Matt Newton.
And they've changed up their play selection during this entire drive. They've done some drop back, they've done some play action, they ran the trap, and that time they ran the whole counter trade. So they're giving the whole gambit right now to Louisville.
Newton doesn't like what he sees, and he'll call a timeout. The AXA Equitable Liberty Bowl is underway. Scoreless, back to Memphis after this. Colorado State on the move, off the timeout. Play number 14 on this drive. Faced with 3rd down and 4. Newton rolling, throwing, incomplete. Corey Wolstenhume was the intended receiver.
There is credit Dwayne White for putting the pressure in Matt Newton's face. As he makes the turn, there's White right there putting the pressure, not allowing Newton to set his feet. And he can't get the accurate throw off the Wolstenhume.
So for the 2nd time on this drive, here's C.W. Hurst for a field goal. The first one was a fake in which they picked up a 1st down. 24 yards. He's perfect from this distance this year. And he sneaks that one through. Colorado State has the first points here in Memphis. Champions of the Mountain West, champions of Conference USA. And Colorado State has a 3-0 lead. Colorado State, an early lead. And C.W. Hurst will kick it off. Zeke Parker. Ready to return it. This one is out of bounds. Louisville will get outstanding field position. They'll bring it out to the 35. We go down below to Holly Rowe. Holly?
Hey, guys, both of these teams have had to practice in cold climates preparing for this bowl game. Unseasonably cold weather in both Colorado and Louisville. But what they're not expecting is the very strong wind. The wind is blowing across the field diagonally, seems to be disrupting some players. It's a very cold air on the field. In fact, the players are kind of cuddling on the sideline. I didn't know there was cuddling in football.
There's no cuddling in football.
No, not at all. Wind chill when we kicked off today was 4 degrees. That will make you want to cuddle. Ragone, another short pass. This one out to the 40. Zeke Parker made the catch. Rocky Martin made the stop. Tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, the Emmy Award-winning Sports Century Series continues. Michael Jordan, the 1-hour-long special. He is, of course, #1. Don't miss it tonight, 8 Eastern on ESPN Classic. Chris Lester, another Miami running back, the junior, over the right side. And Lester is out to the 47-yard line. Casey Wolf made the stop for Colorado State.
Both of these teams, Rich, are playing very well up front and running very well with their front. Both teams are finding the ground game tough to come by so far, and it's because of the speed on both defensive fronts. And Dave Ragone is going to have to show some patience today as Colorado State gives him a healthy dose of zone coverage.
5 receivers almost ran out of time on the play clock. Ragone going deep. Damian Dorsey makes the catch. Dorsey to the 10. Dorsey to the 5. Dorsey to the end zone. Touchdown, Louisville. .58 yards.
Didn't I just say Dave Ragone was going to have to show some patience?
Nathan Smith for the extra point. In a 5-receiver set, there are plenty of options. This one was Damian Dorsey, the sophomore. The catch and the run, Louisville up 7-3.
Hey, Rich, this is what happens when you play that, you go from playing zone to man coverage. What happens is this receiver's going to come right out here, and he screws up the man coverage. That's Dorsey. He screws up the man coverage, and with a blitz on by Colorado State, there's no one there to pick him up. It's a blown coverage by Colorado State, and it's not a very complicated route. It's just to call a switch route by the two outside guys in the trips formation.
John L. Smith's team is in the end zone. His quarterback, Dave Ragone, is 7 of 7 already.
Wade Telachka prepared to kick off for the Birds.
Wade Telachka will kick it off.
Back to receive the Rams, number 35 is Dexter Wynn, and number 1, Wayne Ruff.
Dexter Wynn from the 14. And Wynn is out to the 27. And some pushing and shoving erupts after the whistle along the Louisville sideline. We have both ends of the spectrum in terms of penalties in this one. We have the most penalized team in the country in Louisville, and we have the least penalized team in the country this year, statistically, in Colorado State.
And if you talk to both coaching staffs about how the other team plays, that's no surprise. Colorado State, much more patient team, more zone coverage, disciplined team. On the other side, Louisville will let it fly. They'll fly around the football, lots of team speed, lots of attitude with the red guys in the red shirts.
There's some attitude on that stop. Donovan Arp, the senior out of Salt Lake City, made the stop. Let's go down below to Holly Rowe.
Colorado State's defensive coordinator, Larry Kerr, just told his defense that when they are in pressure and pressure the quarterback, he's so dangerous. They have to keep the coverage and everything's happening in front of them. He said that time, once he started to scramble, they let their coverage lapse, and therefore the mistake. Their goal on this next series will be stay in coverage, keep everything in front of you.
Rebstock in motion. Rebstock the receiver. And he'll gain maybe a yard.
Rebstock that time just trying to pick and choose and find a place to settle in against this defense. That first drive by Colorado State, 7 passes, 7 runs. They're coming out throwing everything they have at Louisville.
Third down and long. They converted a third down and long on their last drive. They were 2 of 4 on that drive in third downs. Newton, a quick drop, quick throw. Wow, what a catch. Antonio Roundtree sent Frank Rice up and over, but short of the first down.
Both of these teams have outstanding wide receivers who are also tough guys, and that is an incredible catch by Rice just to hang on to this football, knowing you're going to get hit. Oh, my goodness. That one will shake up the kidneys a little bit.
Rice thought he had the first down, but he did not. Joey Huber will punt. And a dangerous man is back at the 25-yard line. Not dangerous that time. Arnold Jackson can be a game breaker, but it was Will Lane on the special teams that made the play. ESPN's Capital One Bowl Week continues tonight, and a great lineup tonight at 5 Eastern. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. LSU and Nick Saban against number 17 Georgia Tech. And then in a ball game, Donnie, I know you and I are going to watch tonight. 8:30 Eastern, the 2000 Culligan Holiday Bowl. Number 12 Texas, number 11 Oregon. ESPN and ESPN2, your home for college football on the internet. The Oregon Ducks and the Longhorns, number 12 against number 11 in the Culligan Holiday Bowl. This is Ragone, and he's smothered at the 22-yard line by Lucas Smith.
When Louisville starts to run the football, they like to run Stallings and Ragone on draws. That's their favorite way to run the football because they spread the field out so much. And Ragone, I don't know why he's running the ball at 7 for 7, 86 and 1. Those are great numbers. I don't know why he run the ball.
You know, yardage-wise, 65 of those 86 yards were on the touchdown throw. Ragone again, dropped. Good coverage by Thal Woods. Arnold Jackson, the all-time NCAA Division I receptions leader, was the intended receiver.
Those catches came off the arm of Chris Redmond, and he's done it again this season, but excellent coverage by Woods, getting there at the right time, just enough to disrupt the catch.
Third down this year, 43%. Shotgun on third down. Ragone scrambling, throwing. Nice catch by Deion Branch, and there goes Branch to the 45. 34 yards on the pickup.
Rich, versus cover 2 defensive secondary, the middle of the field becomes wide open. When linebackers drop, they just continue to expand as they drop. They very rarely settle. Finds the seam. When he scrambles out of the pocket, it's smart of him to look back to the middle of the field because that's where the linebackers vacate.
On the ground with Tony Stallings to the 44-yard line. Well, Louisville has been a big play offense, and that was a concern of Larry Kerr's defense in preparing for this Louisville attack. We expected an offensive show here in Memphis. And so far, these two champions haven't disappointed. Louisville on top of Colorado State 7-3. Cam the Ram has made the trip from Fort Collins. Back underway, Ragone! Deion Branch with the catch. And the Louisville Express rolls on. 34 more yards for the Cardinals.
And Rich, Dave Ragone is not just being patient with his passing attack, he's also finding those seams in that zone coverage of Colorado State. There's a lot of room in zone coverage. When you spread the field out with 3 wide receivers, you create those seams.
Option, pitch to Stallings, almost bobbled it and fumbled it. Rick Kroll made the stop.
Oh boy, I tell you what, option can be a great changeup, but it can also be a disaster if you don't have the kind of timing that it takes to run that offense. Especially down here when you see man coverage and a pressure defense, option can kill a team. But if it also can kill the offense if you get a fumble and put that ball on the ground.
Little no-huddle look. And the officials have stopped play.
Well, the no-huddle is great when you get down here because it prevents a defense from getting in a blitz alignment. It prevents a defense from getting a read on how to bring the pressure. And now they go with 5 wideouts, those Louisville, and that spreads them out even more.
Quarterback draw, Ragone, nowhere to go. It'll be third down. Early numbers are in.
Not announcing any winners with early numbers, but so far right now, Louisville is doing the job. 154 in the pass game. You mentioned most of those came on the touchdown.
Third and goal from the 8. Ragone. Tremendous catch by Zeke Parker, but obviously short of the end zone. Well, these Louisville receivers are very, very good.
They've got a number of them that not only can do things with the ball once they get it, but catch the ball very well. Parker will come in to your screen right there. Just an excellent layout for the football. And, you know, you're limited when you come in with 5 wideouts down this part of the field. You run the draw, the QB draw, but then you don't have much else after that.
Little chip shot now for Nathan Smith, who's also on that Louisville baseball team. 24 yards. Right down the middle, says Dave Neal of our Mid-American Conference officiating crew. John L. Smith team gets 3 more. Louisville 10, Colorado State 3. Wind chill down to 4 degrees in Memphis, Tennessee. Donnie, this is the 3rd time I've done this game in the last 4 years, and this is the largest crowd I've seen. Louisville brought between 25 and 30,000 fans. Yeah, they would like to see Louisville win, because in '99 and in '98 they lost in bowl games. The win in '93 and '91, Howard Schnellenberger, head coach at Louisville.
One of my first starts in the Carrier Dome was against Louisville. Howard Schnellenberger.
How'd you do?
We beat him. Yeah, we blew the doors off, actually. I think it was more like it.
That's all right. Schnellenberger did it.
He did an outstanding
He
job.
did an amazing job
Yes,
in just building that program. They were 1-10 when John L. Smith arrived in '98 and '99. They were 7-5, and as you saw, went to bowl games both years.
They brought a lot of faithful people here. We'll find out how faithful they are in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Dexter Wynn. And there goes Dexter Wynn out to the 37-yard line. Let's go down below Holly Rowe.
Hey guys, some teams don't travel mascots. They just get one in the town they're going to, but not so with Cam the Ram. This guy made the 18-hour trip in a trailer. They said they'd stop every few hours and let him get out and walk around because he got stiff after traveling so long. Now, I have checked about his acclimation to this weather, and they said that he's a domestic lamb, and he grows up on a farm, so he's not used to the mountains. But look how thick this sweater is. They think the wool is going to keep Cam just fine today.
That's good, Holly. Where would you find a ram to rent anyways? Cecil Sapp comes back to the 38-yard line. A gain of 1. Antonio Roundtree.
I'll tell you what, you put me in a truck and bring me from Colorado to Kentucky, I'm going to be stiff too. From Memphis, Tennessee to Colorado. And Cecil Sapp, as I mentioned before, has that ability. If he can cut back and get into the secondary, he'll do well. But he had trouble that time getting around Antonio Roundtree.
Second and 9. Here's Newton with a blitz on the way. Throws it short, and it's caught by Corey Wolstenhue. Anthony Floyd made the stop. First down, Colorado State.
And you can tell by that neck roll on Wolstenhue that he plays a little bit of wide out and a lot of the second tight end position. And that time they just bring him across the formation from the other tight end spot and sneak him out into the flat.
And he's listed as a long snapper as well, Donnie. He's got a very extensive resume.
I tell you what, you're a long snapper in college football and professional football. You can play for years if you can get that ball back there quickly.
Newton hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Dwayne White with the pressure. This is a defense that had 50 sacks this year, 27 interceptions this year, and allowed just 304 yards a game this year. Look at the improvement they've made.
And Rich, you talked about recruiting speed, and that's the difference. This is John L's team now, and look at this, the difference in the ranking. You saw that time Dwayne White coming off the corner. It's the speed up front that makes things happen, puts pressure on the quarterback, and makes him get rid of that ball before he wants to.
A reverse. This is Rice. Frank Rice cuts back, and Rice is inside the 30, where Rashad Holman catches him after a 23-yard excursion.
Rice had some tremendous blocking out in front of him. He made the right move to hit the seam, but made the wrong move to look back inside and try to cut back. As they start to get a little chippy after the play, a little pushing and shoving. As I said, Rice makes the right move right here to cut inside the block. He even has Matt Newton out in front of him, but then he makes the cutback. Stay with the play and use your speed and go up the field. You're looking around too much. You just need to look at the end zone and run towards it.
Newton in trouble, going down. It's a huge loss. He's caught at the 44. Dwayne White, 15-yard loss. Goodness.
Well, Dwayne White comes up the field, and that time Lancaster, the guard is going to come out. He's going to come out and pull, but he looks for the wrong guy. Here's the guard. He's going to overrun White, and White just comes underneath and makes the tackle on Newton. And Lancaster has to look inside out when he pulls, making sure that he has the inside sealed before he goes outside.
Second down and 24. See the total yardage. Colorado State on the move. Newton, lots of time, throws it short. And it's caught by Cecil Sapp. 8 yards on the pickup. This will be third down and about 15 now.
These are obviously tough downs for any team, but right now Colorado State has the wind in their face.
And they're out of field goal range because of that wind. Newton burns another timeout. Rams want to talk it over. Louisville on top of Colorado State. Back after this. Defense has been outstanding for Louisville today.
They certainly have, and they brought it in so many different places. 3 different guys on the front get a chance. First it's Art, then it's Josiah, and then White. All 3 have put enormous amount of pressure on Matt Newton. If he can't set his feet, it's going to be a long day.
9 minutes left, first half. Louisville on top of Colorado State. And the Rams faced with a long third down. Wind in their face. Newton has time. Caught at the 15-yard line. Will Lane. First down, Colorado State, 22 yards on the pickup.
That time, as I mentioned, Matt Newton was allowed to set his feet, knowing that he has man coverage. It's a long throw out there for Lane. This time he gets the protection. Nice block right there on Josiah. Now Lane has the entire field to work with. He has plenty of room out there because they were on the left hash. The right hash. We have plenty of room out there to the field to work with.
A 3 tight end look. Sack to the 10.
Give up the middle of running back, Sapp.
That time Sapp, the last play, had a nice block on Josiah. And that time he actually overran his blocking. He had people pulling out in front of him, but he just got there before they did.
You get the sense that Colorado State would like to run it right down Louisville's throat.
They really would. I think that's their comfort zone, and they know they play in this kind of weather more than Louisville does, and they know that you have to establish that run game, and that pass game will open wide open later on in the game.
Sapp again, short of the first down by about a yard. Gain of 5. Jeremy Freitag made the stop.
That time Sapp a little bit more patient in the run game and was able to run behind his, what they call the weak side of their offensive line with Stuber and Finelson.
Interesting down here. 3rd down 2. The Rams have shown some 3 tight end work. They'll go with 2 tight ends and Sapp behind Newton. Wolstenholme in motion. Gonna throw it. Newton in trouble. Throws it away. Big stop by Louisville.
Dwayne White putting the pressure on Matt Newton once again. And that time Louisville showing the team speed, but also the smarts to know what Colorado State was going to try in that moment.
Chris Smealin, the defensive coordinator for Louisville, will have to go right back to work because it looks like Colorado State is going to go for it on 4th down and 2.
You know, you can talk about what Chris Smealin does in the call, but the players on the field also have to react. And in a short yard situation, you're always thinking, well, it was a smart play by the defensive players on the field for Louisville.
This is Sapp, and he's got the first down. Down to the 2. Curry Burns, the stop.
Rich, that time Sapp did it all by himself. He was running ahead of his offensive line. He was kind of like the little dog on the Grinch. He's on the back of the sled. He's got to get, you see, here he is right here. Here's his lineman right here. He's running way out in front of them. They don't even put a block for him.
That would be little dog Max.
That would be Max.
10-3 Louisville on top, but Sonny Lubick and the Rams are on the doorstep. Elvis Presley and Roy Orbison and so many others here in Memphis.
They wouldn't let me in.
I know they wouldn't. You can't sing. That's a problem in this city.
But I can rap. I'll let you give you some evidence of that later on.
All right. It's 1st and goal. Matt Newton. Cecil Sapp, touchdown, Colorado State.
Now that time Sapp got behind Lancaster and sprung him into the end zone. I think they gave Lancaster a head start on that play.
C.W. Hurst prepares for the point after.
Extra point follows. There's Cecil Sapp. Colorado State and Louisville now tied at 10 in the AXA Equitable Liberty Bowl. On the internet, that is not a good sign for Colorado State. Pete Rebstock, who had a stress fracture in his leg to finish the season, is on his way to the locker room.
You know, Rich, more than anything else, it could be just a confidence builder for Matt Newton because that's his roommate and his buddy.
Deion Branch out to the 30-yard lines. We check in with Chris Fowler. Chris, Donnie, I'm not sure which is worse, the blue AstroTurf in Boise or those lines in El Paso.
Yeah, no, I think the blue AstroTurf, you can get used to. Those lines might make you dizzy after a while.
Dave Ragone has had quite a start to this Liberty Bowl. As you saw at 10 of 11. Make it 11 of 12. Fumble! Colorado State has it. Kroll recovered. Gibson with a hit.
And that's that cover 2 that I've been talking about. And Rich, in the cover 2 coverage, any kind of coverage, not only does the quarterback have to read it, but the wide receivers have to see it as well. And they have to settle down in the zone. And this time, the tight end does not settle down in the zone and gets the hit. That's Ronnie Gent, the tight end, doesn't settle down. And Kroll comes up with the big fumble recovery.
That's the second big play by Terrence Gibson, the senior corner out of Gary, Indiana.
Gibson put his helmet right on the football, just like they teach you to do in spring training and camp.
Louisville did not have enough men on the field. They called a timeout. That will not make John L. Smith happy.
Oh, no, those aren't the kind of mistakes you like to see out of your ball game, especially in a bowl game.
Colorado State with some momentum. 10-10 ball game. Back to Memphis after this. 10-10 ball game, but Colorado State seems to have momentum right now. Let's go down below Holly Rowe.
Pete Repstock has gone to the locker room, and the good news is it's not anything to do with that cracked tibia. He is suffering from back spasms. They're going to take him in, give him some heat treatment, and try to get him back in the game. Rich?
Boy, on a day like today, trying to keep your back loose is near impossible. Newton to the end zone. Kapari at the 1. How about that? Flag down 2.
And it's hard to tell who this call is going to be on. Roundtree would seem to be slipping and falling. They could be saying that Kapari pushed him down to the turf.
And I think you are correct, sir. This one's coming back.
Offensive, pass interference, 15 yards, previous spot, still first down.
You can just see the end of this play right here. There you see the hands on the waist of Roundtree, and that's all it takes. All you need to see is the hands on the around the waist or around the shoulders of a player, and they'll call it every time. That was a long first down.
It's a long penalty, 15 yards. Still first and 25. Rashawn Sanders. And he's inside the 45 to the 44. Curry Burns made the stop.
Curry Burns just saved a huge, huge gain. Could have been a first down. And that time Sanders in for Sapp. And if Sanders hits this play on time, he could have gone the distance.
Second down and 20. Remember, Colorado State was faced with a similar down and distance on their last touchdown drive. Newton swings it out. It's caught by Jose Ochoa, the tight end, and he goes down. And he goes down hard at the 31. Anthony Floyd, the stop.
Two big plays for Colorado State to start to kind of chip at that long way to go. Good play action fake and sneak your tight end across the coverage. And Ochoa's not a guy they throw to very much, but he's definitely been a consistent ball player for them.
22 catches, first team Mountain West Conference. 3rd and 7. Sanders. Well, he's to the 32, but you know what, Don? You're looking at a 49-yard field goal into the wind right now. I don't think that's a possibility. I think this is a 4-down situation.
No question about it. Those flags at the top of the stadium are vertical. They are flying fiercely. That wind is blowing pretty hard down there.
Colorado State, you can see the wind at times gusting up to 20 miles an hour. It's in the face of the Rams, who have converted 2 4th downs. One of those was the fake field goal.
And if you go back to that long pass by Newton, he must have a tremendous arm to throw the ball into that wind with some air under it. It hasn't really slowed them up much in the pass game, and there you get a chance to see the wind thing.
The anemometer.
You got it.
Or the wind thing. Newton's throw is caught by Kapari. First down, Colorado State.
Yeah, you go back earlier when I said that Louisville did such a great job anticipating with their defense. This time in man coverage, they're giving Kapari a little bit of room. And that's Roundtree. It's just a simple little crossing pattern. Nothing fancy. And Newton put that ball right on the numbers.
That was good coverage.
It was excellent coverage. It was a tremendous pass.
Sanders to the 16. Josiah made the stop.
Colorado State has better success running the football directly at the Louisville front. Anytime they try to pitch or toss the ball or run laterally, Louisville has the speed up front to run the play down. It's when they run some counters and some ISOs directly at the Louisville front that they have success.
There you go. Little reverse to Rice. With Newton blocking, Rice is outside. He will score. Touchdown, Colorado State.
And it was the block by Lane on Floyd that was the key to that play. Frank Rice got a lot of help from one of his wide receiver buddies, Will Lane. Matt Newton got up there in front too, but I don't think he really hit anybody.
You got to give him credit for getting out there, though.
Right. I certainly do.
High snap, low kick. Look out. Someone in the band may have taken that one. And Colorado State misses the extra points. So that's a costly miss. But Colorado State, on a reverse by Frank Rice, has taken the lead.
Oh, Richard, come in from the right side of your screen. It's a good reverse front there, right there to the left there was the block by Rice. And then Bravansky, look at Bravansky, the big offensive tackle, getting out there into the secondary and putting the block on Holman. I'd like to see those big guys get out there in the secondary.
Justin Borvansky, the center. First team Mountain West pick.
Here's Gardenia, California.
Southern California. That's been a great, you know, the San Diego area in Southern California has been a great area for Colorado State.
I was just saying Gardenia sounds like a nice place to go on a day like today.
It is, what, about 25 degrees in Memphis. The wind chill is down to about 4. John L. Smith and the Cardinal. You know, Louisville had a lot of snow and had trouble preparing for this game, so much so that they called up their bitter rivals Kentucky and said, hey guys, you have a nice indoor practice facility. Might we be able to borrow it? And Kentucky said, sure, come on up.
And it was a gracious move by Kentucky, and it's a beautiful, beautiful facility in Kentucky. You have to give them some credit. It's a great facility they have up there.
Short kick. Branch makes it at the 22. And Branch is out to the 34-yard line. Let's head to the studios. Chris Fowler. Chris?
Well, fellas, coming up at halftime, we'll have highlights of that UCLA-Wisconsin Sun Bowl. We'll also have news on Kentucky, the Cardinals' rivals perhaps facing some tough times ahead with an internal investigation. And we'll also preview the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Georgia Tech and LSU, which follows our game. We'll see you at halftime.
All right, thanks, Chris. We promised an entertaining Liberty Bowl, and I think Colorado State and Louisville have delivered so far. Two high-powered offenses, two very solid defenses. And now Dave Ragone goes to work, closing in on the final minutes of this first half. That one is incomplete. Let's go down below to Holly Rowe.
I'm standing by with the athletic director at Louisville, Tom Jurich. And Tom, you've got an unusual connection to both schools. Sonny Lubick, as the athletic director at Colorado State, you kept him there when he was tempted to go to Miami. Now you've kept John L. Smith with an 8-year extension. How have you had your fingers in the pot so much?
Well, we're lucky. First of all, I've been able to work with two great guys, and they've done a heck of a job. I mean, you can see it on the field, the type of program Colorado State has, and hopefully one we're trying to build. And so excited, and I think they're just great people. And that's the secret.
Speaking of great people, the Louisville fans have turned out in record number, 27,000 people. You guys are building a program down there, aren't you?
Well, we're trying to. We're becoming a football school, and we want everybody to know it. But you got to give so many people so much credit for doing it. Our marketing staff did a great job working, and we're also privileged to live in a great city.
Well, we know you're big time. Last night at the restaurant, they were having John L. sightings in Memphis instead of Elvis sightings, so we know you've hit the big time. Congratulations.
Holly, thank you.
Rich, back to you.
All right, thanks. John L. is so big he has his own rap video now.
Goodness gracious.
And I'm not kidding you.
I know you're not.
Colorado State. Ragona's running out of time. Quite literally at the 25-yard line. Wallace Thomas, the sophomore out of San Diego, made the stop.
Colorado State continues to stay in that zone coverage and forcing Ragone to make some decisions. He's trying to get a vertical stretch. He's trying to stretch the field this way and bring guys underneath. But the problem is that zone coverage, he's been getting guys hit, so he doesn't want to release the football too soon. And that's giving that front four time enough to get to him.
Chris Sabori will punt it away.
Great punt.
Yeah, Dexter Wynn. Dexter Wynn. And Dexter Wynn is out to the 45-yard line. All right, I told you that John L. Smith has his own rap video. You might think I'm nuts. There's a flag down right now, and I think it's going against Louisville, and it will be declined by Colorado State. They've had a great year in Louisville. When you have a great year, things like this happen.
Now demand for this. Hell yeah! Let's go. The Liberty Bowl. It's crunch time. We crunk now. Bang on the jack, get a touchdown. We in the Liberty Bowl. Are we gonna win this? Hell yes. We in the Liberty Bowl. Bow down, the car's proud. Lord and hold me, go shut them down. We in the Liberty Bowl.
Oh my goodness.
What was John L. Smith thinking?
You know what? I bet you he didn't know they were going to do that to him.
Or we were going to show it. Newton with a great throw. And a catch by Will Lane to the 22-yard line. Antonio Roundtree made the stop. And boy, do these Rams have the momentum now.
Let me remind you again that Newton is throwing into that stiff wind that we've been talking about. And he put that ball on the line and on the money. When you give him time to set his feet, he has the arm strength and the receivers to throw the ball down the field.
From the Louisville 22. Clock has started on the ready for play. This could be a double pass. It was.
That's a lateral.
And it rolls out of bounds, luckily for Colorado State. It could have been recovered by Louisville. It was a double pass. Frank Rice was setting up, and he had a man open down in the end zone.
And Frank Rice forgot that was a lateral, and when he dropped the football, just let the play go. And he's going to have his man here coming from the other side of the field. But that time he drops the ball and forgets that it's a lateral. He's lucky it dribbled out of bounds.
It is a loss of yardage, though. Quite substantial, a loss of 8. It knocks him back out of field goal range. Cecil Sapp runs into Rashad Harris and Michael Josiah.
Sample carry. Looks for yardage up.
Good anticipation by the Louisville defense.
And Colorado State's going to burn a timeout.
Number 52, Rashad Harris. Brings up third down.
Our Dodge halftime report is coming up. Sun Bowl update. good news from Penn State. And a performance here by Lone Star. Speaking of good news, Donnie, we want to take Lone Star. We want to take time to mention a story that some have followed in college football. In preparation for this game, Colorado State had a near tragic accident at their practice. Shane Ballou was on the film crew on the coaching staff for Colorado State. He was up on a scissor lift on the practice field about 35 feet above the practice field when a 50-mile-an-hour wind gusted through Fort Collins in the practice facility and knocked the scissor lift over with Ballou in it. He was in critical condition for a couple of weeks. He was released on Christmas Day. He is home in Florida. We are told he is watching today. And Sonny Lubick wanted to say that the team is thinking about Shane Ballou, and it was obviously a very nearly tragic situation, but it sounds as if Shane is okay. He's out of the hospital and recovering at home in Florida.
Sonny Lubick was so happy to be able to announce to his team yesterday that he was home, that Shane was home in Florida and would be watching. And Shane, we wish you continued success in your recovery. And
Sonny Lubick's team faced with 3rd down and 17. They have converted 2 of these downs today, 3rd down and longs. Newton, lots of time, gonna scramble behind the line, throws it incomplete. Flags go down. He went across and then came back.
Exactly right. He did a nice job initially in the pocket, avoiding the pressure, and then when he started to take off and run, he saw too many red shirts. He tried to back up and throw it, and that was his mistake.
This will do 2 things. One, it will back the play up, and I believe it's a loss of down as well. And so
what should happen is that Louisville should get the ball here.
It was a 3rd down situation. And so this should turn into 4th down and a whole bunch.
Illegal forward pass. The quarterback went beyond the line of scrimmage and came back. It's lost the down. 5 yards out of the foul.
That'll bring it back to about the 35-yard line. Capital One Bowl week continues Sunday night. Boy, is this an intriguing matchup. The Sanford Independence Bowl. You got Mississippi State and Jackie Sherrill against his old team, R.C. Slocum and Texas A&M. 8 Eastern on Sunday. ESPN and ESPN2. Your home for college football on the internet.
And if you're stuck in the car, what do?
You turn on ESPN radio. Donnie, you and I will be there.
You got to plug yourself every now and
then. Shamelessly.
Exactly.
You're getting the hang of this business, McPherson. I think you'll go far in it. High snap. Low kick. And a nice roll. On a cold and blustery day in Memphis, Tennessee, the AXA Liberty Bowl, number 22 Colorado State and number 23 Louisville. This is the first bowl game of the season that matches top 25 teams and one of the few bowl games all year where you've got conference champions. Along with Don McPherson and Holly Rowe, Rich Waltz in Memphis, and it's been a wonderful first half. The offense of Louisville was explosive early, but Colorado State, down 10-3, has rallied to go up 16-10.
And both teams are showing why they got here with outstanding defensive play.
Boy, Ragone, with just 30 seconds left, is throwing it out of his own end zone.
Rich, I always like to see how a team responds when they have a long way to go and very little time in a half. It's really an attitude thing, what you do at this point. If you're not going to throw the ball deep down the field, what are you going to do with it?
I got 2 words for you. Jack Squirek. Remember his interception in the Super Bowl on Joe Theismann, Raiders? Whoa, that was almost intercepted. Flags go down.
I think someone heard you.
Remember that? Redskins inside their 10, end of the half. Squirek goes in, intercepts Theismann, ball game.
I remember well.
Personal foul, Colorado State.
That time, again, a long throw across the field. Those always give those secondary people, and that time, Gallimore, time to respond to the play.
Justin Gallimore on the coverage.
He knows he could have sent them back to the locker room with that one.
Miller moves the ball to the 32-yard line. First down for the Cardinals. 1st and 10.
So it's 1st and 10. There's 5 seconds left. Donnie, do you Hail Mary it here?
Absolutely. No question about it. You know what? I don't like sitting on the ball. If you have time, you have breath left, let it fly.
Ragone has a man open. It's caught by Arnold Jackson, and he's smothered by Rams at the 38-yard line. The pushing and shoving continues. Both teams headed to the locker room. An emotional day here in Memphis. Conference champions. And right now, the Mountain West leads Conference USA. Colorado State 16-10 over Louisville. Let's head to the studios. Chris Fowler. Cam, the Rams certainly happy with that first half effort, and here are the numbers. Anything jump out at you?
Well, the 196 in the pass yards advantage for them, and also the 4th down conversions. Obviously, Colorado State is going for it on 4th down. That shows that they're playing aggressive football. Obviously, 3 for 3, that's showing their success. But the more important thing is the attitude that it takes to go for it on 4th down.
And on 4th down, look, the fake field goal that put them in better field position. They settled for a field goal. And then from the Louisville 5, a sap run that picked up the 1st down. They got the touchdown. And the other one was a Kapari reception, a great throw by Matt Newton. And Sonny Lubbock's Rams, who were down 10-3 in this ball game, have come roaring back. John L. Smith and the Louisville Cardinals, they were explosive early, made some mistakes late, and will kick off to start this second half. Dexter Wynn. Dexter Wynn. And Dexter Wynn is out to midfield. Let's check back in with Holly Rowe. Holly?
Guys, speaking with Sonny Lubick at the half, he said that he thought his team out-toughed Louisville. He was so pleased with how physical and aggressive they were. He also loved their time of possession. He said if they can continue to run the ball here in the second half and keep Louisville's high-powered offense off the field, they should be just fine. Also, Pete Rebstock, number 4, his back spasms have alleviated. He will try to go here in the second half.
Holly, what's the temperature like down there?
You know, I'm able to talk, but not by much because it's freezing cold and the wind is just biting and cutting through you.
Cecil Sapp inside the 45. For some reason, Don McPherson, and maybe some weather person can explain this to me, but 25 degrees here in Memphis feels like 10 below in a lot of places.
I tell you what, it really does. And the wind is blowing very hard. And I'm not that weather guy who's going to tell you the answer. And Pete Rebstock right there, I can tell you what Pete Rebstock is thinking. Keep my back warm. Let me get back on that football field and stay warm. Standing on the sideline is not going to help him.
He's not in on this first possession. Newton with a long count and the pitch to Sapp, who gets outside and has some yardage, and Sapp is inside the 30 and down to the 26-yard line. Anthony Floyd made the stop.
And Sonny Lubick was happy with the way his team out-toughed Louisville in the first half. He should be happy with the way they're outrunning them. That time, Sapp just showed that flat-out speed to get to the corner. He had his big tackle show it right there in front of him, placing a nice block on the corner. I'm very impressed with the way these offensive linemen for Colorado State have been running in the secondary.
51 yards now for Sapp. He's in motion. Newton, a short throw, and there's Rebstock, sword back and all. Rebstock to the 10. Holman made the stop, 16 yards on the pickup.
And Antonio Roundtree is still on the ground, and he was one of the first people to get to Rebstock that time. Rich, you talked about his strength. Watch right now. Between Harris, the linebacker, and Antonio Roundtree, he was able to split those two guys and get a few extra yards, and that's Antonio Roundtree still on the ground. I think he may have taken a knee or something to the ribs or to the head even.
Louisville training staff is on. First possession, second half. We'll take a timeout while they tend to the fallen Cardinals. 16-10 Colorado State. Colorado State with the football and on the move. Antonio Roundtree left the field on his own power. Colorado State is inside the 10, first and goal. Sapp. Cecil Sapp to the 7. As the day grows longer, the temperature drops even more. Don't let the sun deceive you. We have our anemometer up, as Don called it, the wind thing.
It's the wind thing.
The wind was so brisk it blew it over.
Now we got guys, look, they're strapping it down. This guy right here, that's
Renee George.
That's Renee George right there.
Taping down the wind thing.
Right. And she's taping down the base of it, making sure that thing doesn't fly off the stadium.
Second down. Sapp. Louisville's defense stiffens. Michael Josiah and Curry Burns on the stop. The wind has been up between 10 and 20 miles an hour all day long. It's 27 degrees, wind chill 0 degrees.
As you say, Rich, as the day grows longer, right now they're playing, when there is sun, they're playing right in the shade. So that wind chill is being felt right now on the field.
Much of the ice storms that have gripped the southern part of the United States are about 2 or 3 hours from here in Arkansas. No ice, but plenty of chill. Third down goal. Sapp again. And he'll get to the 4. And he ran into Jeremy Freitag, the junior linebacker.
That time, Sapp keeping his legs moving after the play. I'm a little curious why Colorado State has run the ball down here and hasn't taken a shot into the end zone.
Well, Sonny Lubick on 4th down now. He's going for the chip shot and the 3 points.
Well, I like the call after running the ball 3 straight times. The first half, they mixed it up very well, and now they come out and run the ball in a scoring opportunity 3 straight times, forcing them into this field goal attempt.
C.W. Hurst from 21. C.W. Hurst is 2 of 2 on the day. So Sonny Lubick, whose team had a missed extra point, gets another 3 points. And the Rams come out and score first here in the second half of the AXA Liberty Bowl. Colorado State by 9. Well, they have a passion for their Louisville Cardinal. Almost 30,000 Louisville fans have made the trip, but Colorado State right now, champions of the Mountain West, lead John L. Smith's Cardinal 19-10. And a low roller that Zeke Parker has trouble with. And now Parker is in real trouble, and down he goes at the 10-yard line. Good special team work by Colorado State.
And you know, if you don't think special teams makes a difference, Dexter Wynn comes out with an outstanding return and puts Colorado State in position to score. And now this dismal return by Parker gives Louisville a long field to work with.
Let's check in with Holly Rowe. Holly?
I have an injury update on Antonio Roundtree. He did momentarily lose consciousness. He has passed the concussion test, though. He knew the name of where he was and the play. They will try to get him back into the game. He said his head is not cloudy, so we should see him sometime in the second half.
The concussion test.
Yeah, I would fail that right now.
I was about to say.
I don't even know what city we're in.
Dave Ragone with time. And he dumps it off. It's caught by Deion Branch. I think they've got to get Deion Branch the ball a little bit more.
There's no question about it. He's the guy who's the big playmaker for them. Branch is not their #1 receiver, but he has 71. Excuse me, he has been the #1 receiver this year. 71 receptions on the year. There's no question he's the guy who got them here.
Yeah, with Branch and Arnold Jackson and Zeke Parker, Ragone has had some really dangerous targets to choose from. Tony Stallings to the 27-yard line. All right, you've got Arnold Jackson with 300 receptions, is the NCAA record holder. And then you've got Deion Branch, who had over 1,000 yards this year with those 71 catches. Branch is a junior, Jackson is a senior.
And Jackson, 100, more than 100 of those receptions came from Chris Redmond.
Redmond, who had the great season in '98 and '99. Now a member of the Baltimore Ravens. Ragone steps up and scrambles. Lost the ball. Colorado State has it. David Vickers knocked it out, and with his second recovery of the day, Rick Kroll picked it up.
That's what happens when you're Rick Kroll and you hustle hard. You're in the right place at the right time.
John L. Smith not happy, obviously, with his offense.
Well, the one thing he does like about Dave Ragone is that he is tough and he will tuck it away. And this time he tucks away, gets those extra yardage. But one thing that sometimes quarterbacks forget is when they pass the line of scrimmage, there are people still chasing from behind. And he has to tuck that ball away because David Vickers came in from behind and was able to get the strip.
We're not moving. Hey, let's go. Get a team.
We told you they were a good defense and not a flashy one. Just a blue-collar, hard-working unit. They've shown it. Here is Newton with time, going deep. No one there except Antonio Roundtree, who passed the concussion test and now passes the coverage test. And he brings it out to the 8-yard line.
And that time, Matt Newton just made a poor decision. There was double coverage out there on Rice, his wide receiver. He had no place to go with the football. He just heaves his ball up. He tries to give a little look off there, but doesn't look long enough at where he's throwing the ball and overthrows Rice by about 10 yards. And Roundtree, as you said, passes the concussion test. They ask you where you are. I don't think he knew where he was on the football field. He was out there by himself. But as they say, in the right place at the right time.
Roundtree, his second interception of the season. Remember, this is a Louisville secondary that had 27 picks to lead the country. Stallings trying to get out, and he does at the 16-yard line. What's up in the Sun Bowl, Chris Fowler?
Well, Rich, the amazing underdog trend is continuing in bowls here. UCLA completing a short 6-play drive with a 7-yard touchdown run by Deshaun Foster. They go into halftime of the Sun Bowl. UCLA, the underdogs, up by 10.
Here in this one, in Memphis, Colorado State, a 19-10 lead over Louisville. I'm not sure there was much of an underdog in this one, Donnie Mack.
I don't think so. Evenly matched game. It's been played that way thus far.
Stallings over the left side, fights for a tough 4 yards and a Louisville first down. When you have 27 interceptions, it puts you in some elite company. And I guess the moral of this story, Don, is if you have a great pass defense, you'll have a team that's ranked in the top 25.
And no question about it. If you look at these schools right here, only Louisville is the only school not in the top 10. It's top 7 right there, and it's impressive company to be in when the rest of their team catches up with the performance of their secondary. This would be an outstanding program.
Yeah, Anthony Floyd, 24 right there, had 10 picks this year. And that puts him in some nice company. Guys like Ray Buchanan and Sam Madison. All of a sudden, the Cardinals are keeping it on the ground with Tony Stallings. He picks up 3 yards.
Stallings is a guy that came as a running back, moved to linebacker, and then back to running back. They use him, obviously, with all the numbers they put up in the pass game. They use Stallings more as a blocking back, more often give Ragone a little extra pressure, a little extra protection. Now in this ball game, they have the wind at their back. I'm surprised they're running Stallings so much to start the second half with the wind at their back.
Ragone on second down. This is Jackson, and he'll go nowhere. David Vickers made the stop. Well, as Don said, if you can't be in front of your television set, ESPN Radio is the next best thing. The Rose Bowl on Monday at 4:30. Holly Rowe is going to the Rose Bowl. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl as well. Then the Nokia Sugar Bowl on Tuesday, and of course, the FedEx Orange Bowl on Wednesday. ESPN Radio. Donnie, how come we didn't get billing for the Independence Bowl?
I don't know.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Maybe it's on too early in the morning.
Yeah, we'll be in Shreveport on Sunday night. Ragone. Hit and incomplete. Good pressure by Jeff Grau, the junior out of Delray Beach, Florida. Louisville's not the only team here that recruits in Florida, you know.
You know, you talk about the upsets, and you look at the bowls, and you look at how many of these supposedly upsets are occurring, and even during the season with Conference USA and the MAC Conference coming on and playing well, Mountain West playing well out of conference. And I think it's because recruiting has expanded so much. Sonny Lubick talks about how popular they are in Southern California, and ESPN has been a big reason for that, giving them the exposure they need in places where they want to recruit.
Almost blocked, and then Wynn picks up the loose ball, and he's dropped at his own 25-yard line. Louisville and Colorado State in Memphis, 1910 Rams. 1910, number 22, Colorado State.
That's a smart hat. Smart hat.
I think anything that keeps you warm today is smart.
And that's a smart blanket. It's colorful. You know why it's smart? It's colorful, it's warm, and with the colors, our cameramen see it and they make TV.
That's smart. Matt Newton gives to Cecil Sapp, and Sapp is across the 35 and out to the 40-yard line. Curry Burns and Antonio Roundtree made the stop, 15 yards on the pickup, and this young man, sophomore out of Miami, continues to get better as the game grows longer.
He is getting stronger, and this is just good, hard, solid running by Cecil Sapp. He's got some nice blocks up front, but then he just does so much of it on his own, just carrying people. That time Burns and other people in the secondary just carrying him right along with him.
Sapp again. Flag goes down. Was Newton hit in the backfield?
He may have been.
He went down, and there was a flag that landed right next to him.
And you're exactly right, Mr. Waltz.
That's bizarre. I mean, talk about carrying out a good play fake.
That's right. Sometimes it's too good and you get a little shot. You know, with a defense like Louisville that is so aggressive and plays so aggressively throughout the year, when they're not getting the job done, sometimes that frustration starts to set in. And even on a run play like this, you get that, you know, you want to take that shot on the quarterback. And
you can see Newton go down.
Here's Newton right here. Just gets a late shot.
Looked like Dwayne White that hit him. Blitz on the way, and down goes Newton. This time he's hit legally. Donovan Arp and Michael Brown. Brown is the Bandits.
And that time he was more like a linebacker than like a secondary man, and was able to come. They kind of brought the whole house this time. Here he is right there in the middle of your screen, and nice little juke move. No one really to block him, so it's an easy play for Brown. That time Louisville in their vintage man coverage, coming with pressure off the corner with Brown.
Second sack today, 52nd on the season for the Cardinals. Blitz coming again, Newton with time, and he threw short to Will Lane. Throwing across the field into the teeth of that wind is not an easy thing.
Yeah, tough throw, and it's a long throw for Newton. And that wind, what that wind will do, especially with a right-handed quarterback throwing left, it will cause and push that ball down to the ground because of the rotation on the ball, and also the wind coming across the field will push it down and outside.
Sapp on a draw, got a lot of room. Brian Gaines with the hit. Not nearly enough for the first down. Colorado State is going to have to punt. As Louisville tries to stay warm, Sonny Lubick and his Rams have played in conditions like this. They played a game at Air Force in one of the epic games this year in college football, in which the temperature and the wind chill dropped to about 15 below.
that's too cold even for, what was it, Sammy the Goat?
No. Was it Cam the Ram?
Cam the Ram, excuse me.
Sammy the Goat. That one's going to land. That may be the guy they have to rent when they're on the road.
Sammy the Goat.
Cecil Sapp and the big guys up front for Colorado State are getting the job done right now.
They certainly are. And Cecil Sapp doing a lot of it on his own, but getting the blocking up front and running hard all game long. This guy, he's not going to go out of bounds too often. He's going to lower his head and run through some people. And you see him right there on Burns and Roundtree, carrying people in the secondary right along with him.
Cecil on the phone to friends in Florida. Saying he's warm enough. He's at 90 yards now. Ragone over the middle. Caught, tumbling catch. Deion Branch. First down Louisville. 23 yards.
And Rich, Louisville has to get something going in this quarter. They must take advantage of the wind right now at their backs. They were running the ball the first couple of series. This time they're going to go vertical now. This is a pass that he hasn't thrown. Ragone hasn't thrown since early in the ball game, throwing the ball up the field. And you got to get in that young man's face. Don't hit him low. Hit him up along the chest so he knows you're there.
That's borderline to a flag. Now Stallings. Tony Stallings straight ahead. That is tough going. Jamie Bennett, Mike McKenzie, Peter Hogan, Jeff Grau, the defensive front of Colorado State.
Nearly 10 minutes gone in this quarter. The entire quarter has been played on Louisville's side of the field.
Scott Linehan, who was the offensive coordinator for Jim Lambright at the University of Washington and was a fabulous college quarterback at Idaho for Dennis Erickson. John L. Smith was the assistant on that team. Ragone. Caught there by Deion Branch. John Howell made the hit. I mentioned Erickson. It's amazing. Sonny Lubbock's son is on the Oregon State staff, Dennis Erickson's staff. In fact, Lubbock and his wife were at the Oregon State game because they had that Saturday off, and they're going to the Fiesta Bowl to watch Oregon State and Notre Dame. And of course, John L. Smith and Dennis Erickson are very close as well. Ragone. There's my man Branch. He lost the ball though. Is it a fumble? Yes. Another Louisville fumble, and David Vickers caused another one.
Colorado State has been so opportunistic in this ball game, taking advantage, and as soon as Louisville now crosses the 50 is when they get another break. Those Colorado State.
It was Justin Gallimore who caused the fumble.
Got a punch in there right on the football.
And Vickers recovered it.
I like the play call by Louisville that's going to that conservative pass game to get something going. They've got to hang on to the football. As it gets colder, Rich, that's going to be tougher and tougher to hang on to.
Hey, there were two Gallimores on that hit. Jason Gallimore, the twin of Justin, made the big hit as well. And Colorado State keeps it on the ground. Cecil Sapp, Jeremy Freitag made the hit. There's one of the Gallimores. That's Jason, the junior. And then Justin. They're identical twins from Wheat Ridge, Colorado. They were both in on that hit.
That's a defensive coach's guy. Hey, Gallimore, get over here. You got two guys running at you.
Sapp over the left side. It's not the first time that the Gallimores have teamed up and shined this year. This is against Wyoming. And this is Justin Gallimore taking it back 63 yards for a touchdown. Not to be outdone, his twin, Jason, picked this one up. and he raced 52 yards. It's the first time in the NCAA that Twins had scored a touchdown for the same team since a pair of twins from Memphis did it, ironically, in '85. I know you didn't know that.
And that's the kind of information, if you have, Rich, you should go on that 2-minute drill as a contestant, because you could win with information like that.
I'm not eligible, Donnie. Sorry. Personal foul against Louisville. A double personal foul. No, there it is. Michael Josiah to the sideline, his second personal foul. And he's on the sideline, and Cecil Sapp is inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line.
And once again, that offensive line in particular, Roderick Lancaster for Colorado State at the point of attack, doing an outstanding job of the block. Here's the block by, show it, the tackle, doing a nice job of opening up that hole for Sapp, and then he does so much, always leaning forward on the tackle.
So Michael Josiah is out of the game after that personal foul. And this is Sapp to the 22-yard line. Michael Brown made this stop. Colorado State's offense is similar to Louisville's, but they like to spread it out and run it. And when Cecil Sapp or any Ram is over 100 yards, as Sapp is right now, that is a real recipe for success for Sonny Lubick.
Yeah, Rich, when we previewed this game, we talked about what the difference is going to be in this game. Two similar offenses, but the difference is if you have a strong run game, and Colorado State does, they can control the clock.
Newton throwing to the sideline, and it's incomplete. He was rushed and hit. And that was Dwayne White.
Newton was just lucky to get that ball away, throwing in the direction of Pete Repstock.
It's the granddaddy of them all. Monday, New Year's Day, 4:30 Eastern. The Rose Bowl on ABC, presented by AT&T. Drew Brees, Marcus Tuiasosopo, Washington, and Purdue. ABC Sports, the home of the Bowl Championship Series. On that Montana State staff that included Sonny Lubick and Dennis Erickson back in the early 70s, Joe Tiller was on that staff as well. We're unloading all the cannons here, McPherson. Newton in trouble, and he goes down. After the 28-yard line, Chad Lee made the stop.
Yeah, Rich, in these conditions, sometimes a quarterback has to think the best thing I can do is get back to the line of scrimmage, not to take a sack and lose too much yardage. Right now, with the wind in their face, they're making it more difficult to get those 3 points. So a quarterback should think a little bit sooner about taking off out of the pocket, just so you don't take a sack if you feel the pressure. Who's going to call a timeout?
4th down. Colorado State had converted 3 of them today. We'll see if they convert a 4th when we get back. 19-10 Colorado State. 19-10 Colorado State on top of Louisville. Champions both of the Mountain West come Colorado State from Conference USA, Louisville. Cecil Sapp has been tough on the ground. Colorado State's offense has been methodical. Dave Ragone has been effective for Louisville, but the turnovers have killed Louisville. Colorado State on their fourth down attempt today. They've converted all 3, but not this one. He drops the ball. It doesn't matter. It's a moot point. Louisville was going to get the ball anyways. And the Cardinal holds. Donnie, your thoughts on that? 4th down and about 13. With a 9-point lead, they went for it.
Well, I don't mind the call so much of going for it, but I do think if you tell your quarterback, because he got some pressure earlier on the play before, that if you get this pressure right away, and you can see it, you can see guys leaking in here, throw the ball away right now. Don't take the sack. Don't move yourself any further back. Get rid of the football and allow your defense to play with that longer field.
Chad Lee with the 3rd sack of the day for Louisville. And maybe the Cardinal have some momentum now. Here comes a Colorado State blitz. Ragone, Branch, got it. That was a bullet to the 36.
Again, Rich, that's the throw they haven't thrown. They thrown once this half. They threw it a couple times in the first half. They're getting those vertical releases by the receivers. And that time with the blitz by Howell, Ragone could have read this even earlier and got rid of the ball sooner. But he waited for Branch to get down the field, and that's that young, fiery quarterback. He needs to get his team pumped up.
He is 19 of 24. He's approaching 300 yards. Tony Stallings, and Stallings inside the 30 to the 28. Rocky Martin made the stop, and that sack of Newton seems to have sparked some life into this Colorado State team. Louisville trying to stay warm and trying to get back against Colorado State. 15 minutes left in the Liberty Bowl. And Dave Ragone rally the troops. We'll find out. 1910 Colorado State.
ESPN's 2001 Almanac, a great holiday gift in bookstores now.
People put off till tomorrow the things they should do today. It's easy, right?
Anthony Padilla, AXA Advisors.
Especially when it comes to a financial plan. I work with a lot of people my age. They say, Anthony, I'm young. What's the rush?
AXA Advisors is one-on-one financial help.
I say, start now. Sure, you've got a lot of expenses, but you've got this huge advantage, too, and that's time. Hey, I know it isn't easy, but my job is to get you started.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
While most people struggle just to get through the winter, Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo owners seem to get over it pretty easily. This is the season to visit your local Jeep dealer.
You want me? Back off! He's a killer!
Yes. One more time, but this time I'm serious.
Sure, let's play for $1.
I'm not that serious.
Guys, $1 isn't serious.
Then you must not know about 10-10-2-20.
Remind me. Dial 10-10-220. All calls up to 20 minutes, 99 cents.
Heck, just 7 cents a minute after that.
There's got to be a monthly fee.
No.
In that case, I'll shoot for $1.
Can you do that?
Too short.
Dial 10-10-220.
Mark, at PowerTel, we believe all living things should roam free. That's why we don't stick you with any roaming charges. Come on, guys. Roam free. Let's get a snow cone.
Right now, with PowerTel wireless service, you can roam free and get free nationwide long distance for as low as $30 a month. You can even get a free phone.
PowerTel. We're on that.
Liberty Bowl, Memphis, Tennessee. With B.B. King. Speaking of,
I thought we were going to try and do it, but
the King?
Who's going to look like me? Well, you do it better than I do. Give me a little King. Call this next series like the King.
Dave Ragone. Oh, he flipped it to Arnold Jackson. And he's out of bounds at the 25-yard line. We were at Graceland yesterday.
What a place.
Yeah. No sightings, though.
No.
At least yesterday.
And this is what they like about this young quarterback, Ragone. He's got the all the physical tools to make something happen, even when the play breaks down, and find his man.
Stallings to the 15. Tony Stallings, a 9-yard pickup. Colorado State had the football inside the Louisville 25, and on 4th down and 12, they went for it. Louisville sacked Matt Newton, and since then, the Cardinal offense has brought it right down the field.
Louisville showing that they have a little bit of a run game too, and their guys up front are running very well, pulling and making blocks on the corners.
Ragone on 2nd and short. Swings it out and throws it too high for Stallings.
For Stallings is incomplete, brings up 3rd down, 3rd and a yard to go. The ball remains at the 16.
3rd down and 1.
Ragone making a nice decision that time to dump the ball off, and he's had a consistent day. Those are outstanding numbers. And on that last play, you saw him make a smart play, looking downfield, knowing he didn't have much, and choosing to dump it off to Stallings. As he matures, he'll learn to take a little something more off that ball. Give Stallings a chance.
2 tight end set, 3rd and short. Stallings straight ahead. Following Joe O'Shaughnessy, his senior guard, Stallings has a 1st down.
And now Louisville is going into that wind that doesn't seem to be as strong down on the field, although the flags on top of the stadium are blowing fairly strong, but down on the field it seems to be kind of a calm wind.
Louisville looks a little confused. Formation-wise, they've got a 5-receiver look, going without a huddle, and the confusion is evident because Ragone has to call a timeout.
Yeah, that's just like not taking a sack. You don't want to take a penalty.
19-10, Colorado State.
This is when a lot of people start to worry. Are they ahead or behind in the race for college, retirement?
Mike Jarvis, AXA Advisors.
Will they have enough to do the things they want? I tell my clients a good plan can get them through, and it's never too late to get started.
AXA Advisors is one-on-one financial help.
Okay, so you're a little behind. You can catch up. I can show you how.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
Did you ever see that movie, You've Got Mail? Where this guy and girl fall in love emailing each other a bunch of times? Anyway, they finally meet face to face, and there's this big romantic kiss. You know the movie I'm talking about? Did you ever see that one? Well, this guy didn't. Ford F-Series Super Duty. Built Ford tough.
You wouldn't believe the sales.
I hope you didn't put all those in the credit card.
Yeah, why?
Those interest charges are really going to get us.
Don't worry. I used our new Capital One card. It's interest-free.
To the neighbors! If you had a new Capital One card, all your purchases would be interest-free until July 2001.
We gotta tell Bob and Carol about Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
Now this is the fierce snake, the most venomous snake in the world. One bite from him and it's all over. Yo! Oh. No worries, mate. Luckily, we've had the anti-venom sent from America via FedEx. In my line of work, if you're not absolutely sure, you're absolutely dead. Oh, crikey. It appears we've used a different courier who hasn't arrived yet. It's okay because...
Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator for Louisville. Larry Kerr, defensive coordinator, Colorado State. Linehan's offense has the momentum right now. Shotgun blitz coming. We're going. End zone. Touchdown. Branch, he's been the big play guy in the second half.
You called it, Rich. You said that Branch was going to be the man if Louisville was going to make a move. Rich, all they're doing now is running the ball, running each of these patterns vertical up the zone coverage. You see the corners settling in zone coverage, and Branch just runs right through the coverage.
A very important extra point. Remember, Colorado State had a bad snap and they missed a point. This one is good off the foot of Nathan Smith. Deion Branch, first team Conference USA. 10 catches, 170 yards, and a touchdown. And Louisville is right back in it, down by 2.
John Burgess started this company in a second-floor bedroom.
9 months later, it looks like a good idea.
Jeannie Gagner and Alan Robinson, AXA Advisors.
With new wealth came new responsibility for John and his employees.
We provided key man insurance and estate planning for him.
Deferred compensation and 401ks for his people.
AXA Advisors helps business owners succeed.
It's not just about making it.
It's about making it last.
AXA Advisors, building futures.
Rudy's tale begins with a cold and a most peculiar nose, we're told. When his mother tried to soothe his nose, the closer she got, the brighter it glowed. So she wished for new tissues, one of a kind. Then appeared Puffs Plus, a miraculous find. Enchanted pillows kissed with lotion, such a soothing magical potion. And as Rudy felt better, his nose was pleased. The moral? A nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
Remember the A-Team? Now there was an odd bunch of individuals. They always had some cockamamie scheme to get out of a jam. It never sounded like it would work, but of course it always did. Week after week, same time, same channel. Those were my boys. The Ford F-150 Super Crew. Built Ford tough.
The rambling running of Mississippi State's DeCenzo Miller collides with Texas A&M. Stanford Independence Bowl, Mississippi State versus Texas A&M. New Year's Eve at 8 on ESPN.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2000 AXA Liberty Bowl is presented by AXA Advisors. AXA Advisors, building futures. And in part by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
The Graceland Mansion, home of Elvis Aaron Presley. And if the king were still here, he'd have a bag of burgers and some banana and peanut butter sandwiches. He'd probably be in front of his television set.
Yeah, and we were walking around yesterday on the front lawn, and there's all these signs, and one of them said, "Keep off the grass." Of course, that's where we were standing.
Dexter Wynn goes down. Big hit. Kyle Sammons.
Rich, Branch has been the guy who's bringing him back, and he runs these vertical routes, and he really has been stretching out the defense, and they were bringing people underneath early, but in the second half, they started to throw to him on that vertical route, and he's come up very big for Louisville in the second half.
And now, Colorado State's possession. Newton in some trouble. Broken up. Boy, nice play by Curry Burns, the sophomore safety.
Hey, Rich, right now the advantage definitely is to Louisville at this late in the ball game. It's which team has the momentum, and right now Louisville has it. This is very close to interference, but they don't get the call, so they get even a little more fired up because they feel like they made an even better play. That was Corey Burns getting there at the same time as the ball.
We haven't seen Pete Redstock touch the ball in a long time. Oh, Sapp is clobbered. Donovan Arp. John L. Smith recruited Arp in Salt Lake City when Smith was the head coach at Utah State.
And Arp just flat out beat Show at the left tackle to the punch. He's going to come shooting into your screen right there. He just beat Sherritt.
Some 30,000 fans have made the trip from Louisville, and they're starting to make some noise.
I said we'll find out how faithful they are in the third and fourth quarter. They're all still here.
Colorado State just 3 of 12 on third down. Newton is in some trouble, and it's incomplete. And it's 3 and out, and the momentum rests squarely on the sideline of the Louisville Cardinals.
And that was a great defensive play, defending the screen, not just the pressure on Newton, but holding up Ochoa, the tight end who was trying to leak out and be the man in the screen. And the defense did a good job holding him up and not giving Newton someone to throw to.
Joey Huber to punt it. Arnold Jackson is deep. In danger. Wow, what a kick with the wind. Jackson going back and back, and it's going to roll inside the 10, inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. 73 yards off the foot of Joey Huber. Are you kidding me?
That is amazing. I said that wind wasn't strong on the field, but he got it right up into that jet stream, and that thing continued to sail.
Let's check in with Holly Rowe. Holly?
I'm standing by with 2 pretty special dads, quarterback Matt Newton from Colorado State's father, Richard Newton. This is a guy who had to be pretty patient and get his chance at Colorado State, but he's done well.
Yes, I'm really pleased. A lot of guys wouldn't have hung in there like he did. He hung in there, did what he had to do, and when he got his chance, he just shot to the top. He won the job.
Also, one of the best friends of Matt Newton, Pete Repstock's father, is right here. Pete is one of the littlest, tiniest guys on the field. How does he continue to be so tough?
He's just spent his whole life wanting to do what he's doing right now. He just won't give up. He's tough.
His mom said he was 3.5 weeks early and that he's come out being impatient and a fighter ever since then. Is that true?
He's been that way his whole life. Sort of difficult to live with, but we put up with him.
But fun to watch on the field, though, right?
Great fun to watch on the field.
Well, thanks very much. You guys have to hang in there in the second half, but they've seemed to be a good, savvy team with a lot of veteran leadership this year.
Yep. Matt's been a great leader, and I think we're going to pull this thing off. We can just, the fans can make it through the cold.
Okay, back to you, Rich.
I don't know, Dad doesn't sound that confident. Stallings across the 10, very close to the first down, a gain of 8. Terrence Gibson made the stop for Colorado State.
I think Dad was cold.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Else.
That man, Rick Kroll, has had a big day, covered a pair of fumbles, been in on just about every hit. Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year.
Richard can't say enough about how huge that punt was for Colorado State. Pushing Louisville back deep into their own territory, giving them that long field. They benefited from Colorado State going for it on 4th down.
People assume that big plays in college football are long passes, but you've got a sack on a 4th down and a 73-yard punt that loom as big plays here in the 4th quarter.
And this just completely changed the tempo of the game. Now Louisville, with their backs to the wall almost, has to change up their offensive thinking.
3rd down short. Let's see what they're thinking here. And they give it, or they keep it with their 6'4", 230 quarterback. Dave Ragone has the first down. Middleburg Heights, Ohio. He and Chris Redmond talk twice a week. Redmond, a 3rd-round draft pick to the Baltimore Ravens. Redmond was the record-setting quarterback the last 2 years.
And Richard, thinking now for Louisville, if Louisville could have kept the ball on the Colorado State side of the football and gotten a field goal, it would have been a huge boost. The fans would have been into it. Now it's going to take a lot longer for them to go down the field. That slows the game down a little bit more and gives the advantage, evens it out, at least for Colorado State.
Ragone with a short throw. It's Arnold Jackson. And Jackson, who caught a lot of Chris Redmond passes down at the 20-yard line. ESPN's Capital One Bowl Week continues tonight. Coming up shortly, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl from Atlanta. LSU and number 17, Georgia Tech, George Godsey, and the Ramblin' Wreck. The 2000 Culligan Holiday Bowl, Oregon. Are they as good as number 11? Chris Sims gets the start for number 12, Texas tonight. That's at 8:30 Eastern tonight on ESPN. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Whistle stops the play on second down.
A good time to be on the couch.
Prior to the snap, delay the game, offense, 5 yards. Second up.
Both of these conferences, John L. Smith and Conference USA with Louisville, Sonny Lubick in the Mountain West with Colorado State. Both of these conferences are better than you think if you're a casual fan of the game. Conference USA has made huge strides in the last 2 or 3 years. Over the middle, Ragone, and it's dropped, and it's incomplete.
That time Parker couldn't hold on as he came across the middle, and a nice throw by Ragone, sticking it in there again against this zone coverage that Colorado State continues to play.
Conference USA, you see Ragone's numbers, over 300. Teams like East Carolina and Southern Miss, both bowl winners. UAB has come a long ways. Ragone's in trouble, and he throws it somehow out of bounds. That is a strong quarterback.
And a smart play.
Outside the tackle box, and if you get it past the line of scrimmage, you can throw it anywhere you want, and it's not grounding. In the college game, John Howell put the pressure on.
Well, they've been backed up, and now he can see. Now, he's a lefty, so he can see Howell coming right to his face. And then once he feels the hand on him, he knows, just get rid of it now. No time to compound things right now with a big sack.
Chris Sabori will punt it to Pete Redstock. Redstock to the 40. Colorado State has great field position, and you got to go back to that 73-yard punt was the start of it. 1917 Rams.
We got to run through the quarterback when we get there. Don't let him get around us. Knock him down. Knock him down. Now again, any kind of zone blitz, 2 down the seam. Be alert for that ball.
Larry Kerr, the defensive coordinator, Donnie, he was talking about that vertical route that they've had so much success with Deion Branch. We've been all over that. Newton's throw is caught despite the contact, which draws 2 flags. Frank Rice makes the catch at the 30-yard line.
Rich, that's a big-time throw by Matt Newton. That is a long ball on the rope. And he put it right on the numbers. And that's what forces the penalty, because the ball is so well thrown, the defensive back, in order to make a play on the ball, has to run through the receiver. And that ball's on a rope to Rice. He actually
kicked him.
He gave him a kick. He gave him a little kung fu in the back. That's Holman.
That's Rashad Holman Fu here.
Just right in the back.
That's a point of emphasis this year with the officials.
Yeah.
None of that.
No karate kicks. See, I want to go back to the days when you say you're giving them the business, or, you know, it's the kung fu to the back. Should be an extra 2.5 yards for that kind of kick.
From the 30 of Louisville. Cardinals show blitz. Newton's checking off. And he checked into the run with Sapp to the 25. Nice 5-yard pickup. That's what a quarterback can do for you, Don, who's been in your program 6 years.
Absolutely. He knew right away with the blitz coming that he had pressure coming from the left side, so he checked off to run the play over the right side and picked up a nice 5-yard gain. And that time, if Cecil Sapp could have been a little more patient, there was a hole coming open. That's easy for me to say, standing here about 5 stories above the field. Yeah. I can see all that stuff.
Mr. Patience. Second down, Sapp. perseverance and patience and flags.
That young man is having a heck of a day. He is running hard. Cecil Sapp, there's the face mask right there, very clear. And then another one, he got 2.
Into the run, 5 yards, first down.
First free tag, then Roundtree on the face mask.
They'll just get 5 yards out of it, though.
Enough to give him the first down.
124 yards now. This is a career high for Sapp. Look out for that bag in the backfield.
Watch out for the bag.
Newton's throw is incomplete. Brad Swoboda was the intended receiver.
You know, usually what you have in the backfield are sacks. That time we had a sack.
You had to go there. If there was any quarterback pressure, I would have resorted to that.
Yeah, well, I had to use it. Come on, there's the sack. Oh, there's the bag. Now the game's in the bag. Somebody emptied the trash.
16-yard line of Louisville. 2nd down and 10. And it's Sapp again. Donovan Arp with the first hit. There's a look at Arp, one of the team captains. Louisville defense here in the 2nd half.
Rich, a Louisville defense has played well in the 2nd half. Roundtree coming up with the big interception, and then they've been aggressive in the backfield. The sack by Brown, the pressure by Arp. They've done a fine job, and you have to go back to that punt by Huber that has really turned things around for Colorado State.
That really stopped the momentum for that Louisville had built. 73-yard punt. Now Colorado State. Newton's throw into Rice. This one broken up by Rashad Holman.
You know, they didn't throw in Holman's direction much at all in the first 3 quarters, and now that they're going after him, he's showing why he's one of the top defenders in the conference.
That's a good point. And now, this has been an adventure of sorts for Colorado State. They've hit 2 field goals. Remember, they had a fake field goal in which they picked up a first down. Pete Rebstock is the holder. They had a high snap and missed an extra point. C.W. Hurst, 32 yards away. Perfect on the day. C.W. Hurst is 3 of 3. 3 very big points for Colorado State. That's not Sammy the Goat, Don. That's Cam the Ram. He's a happy guy. 22-17. Colorado State leads Louisville. Good music and good football today in the Liberty Bowl. Conference champions going at it. Colorado State of the Mountain West, Louisville of Conference USA. 5-point ball game. And some good barbecue around
Yeah,
it.
some great barbecue, and I have to give all kinds of love to Gwendolyn Kroom from Corky's last night. All went out for barbecue.
They had the entire place was filled with Louisville Cardinal fans, and it was like one big Louisville Cardinal love fest there.
Yeah, and it was a good thing that our promo for tonight's game came on TV, because everyone knew ESPN and who we were, and so when we leapfrogged about 90 people.
Oh, now you're going to tell.
They gave us a little bit of love. I thought they were going to throw things at us.
It was amazing, though, to hear the Louisville fans, all of them very, very smart football fans. They knew an awful lot about their team. They knew an awful lot about Colorado State.
Well, they knew they were in for a heck of a ball game, and it has been so far.
That one goes through the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Let's check in with Holly Rowe. Holly?
Guys, you've heard of the unusual superstitions of kickers. They're an odd breed, some would say. But I think C.W. Hurst from Colorado State may have the most unusual routine. The night before the game, he has to have chocolate chip cookies and milk And then he goes through a ritual every single game of shaving his legs. He also requires that Pete Rebstock holds for him. Even if Pete's busy returning punts and playing receiver, he says Rebstock's my guy. One of the more unusual kickers, I would dare say.
So he shaves his legs?
I was with him on the cookies and milk thing. I think that's great.
You know, as long as Rebstock doesn't shave his legs, I think that's okay. Out to the 31-yard line, that's a gain of 12.
Back to the game.
Lucas Smith made the hit. There's Rebstock. He is the heart and soul of the offense. Rick Kroll is his counterpart on the defense. But Rebstock is the little pepper pot wide receiver and kick returner. He's been a great performer all year long. Ragone on first down. With time, swing pass. Strangely enough, that's been the toughest throw for Ragone all day.
Yeah, and it's to his right side, and he has to learn to get his feet around and make a solid throw into the flat to his running back Stallings. And that's one of those things that, you know, you often see a right-handed quarterback having trouble throwing that ball into the flat to the left. And now you see him Ragone not getting his feet around. And that's a throw that he's going to have to make, especially in this ball game, because with that vertical route that they're running and pushing people off, there's a lot of room to run in the flat.
Second down. Blitz coming. Connects on this one. Stallings to the 40, short of the first down.
Yeah, see, now at that time they just run the same thing, same old swing pass, and send him out to the left side so Ragone can keep him in his sight and make the easy pass. And again, they're going to have to continue to take advantage of that.
John L. Smith. His ball club down 5. 6.5 minutes left in the AXA Liberty Bowl. 58,000 tickets sold. 30,000 came from Louisville. Option, Stallings, defended nicely. Aaron Sprague, the farm boy out of Holyoke, Colorado, came up to make the stop.
Just when you have a quarterback as big as Ragone is, you can take that chance on the option to the short side of the field. He's going to take a shot, but when it's an outside linebacker or a corner coming off the short end there, he can take a shot.
Johnny, what is the toughest thing about playing in this weather for a quarterback?
Well, I think the toughest thing is judging when the wind is going to gust and judging how you have to throw the ball and release the ball into a certain kind of wind. That's the biggest issue. When you get into a ball game, and, you know, we're sitting up here in the booth and we're kind of cold, and you see the coaches and the fans bundled up, but the players don't feel it as much. At least for a player, it's about 20 to 30 degrees warmer than what the actual temperature is when you're playing.
Double reverse. Zeke Parker ends up with it, and Zeke Parker ends up at the 34-yard line. The other farm boy safety made the stop, John Howell. Let's go to the studios. Chris Fowler.
Richard, like those farm boys. In El Paso, Wisconsin trying to rally, down by 13. Bollinger on the run here. Chris Chambers tightrope from the end line. Bollinger finds him. A 6-point game now, late third quarter at the Sun Bowl. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Chris. They wish they had some sun right now.
Sun Bowl.
In Memphis. Wind chill has it down to 0 degrees. Ragone. Scrambling. Looking. Throwing. Incomplete. Had a man, Zeke Parker. He was incomplete. Let's go down below to Holly Rowe. Holly.
Guys, the weather here in the second half is really becoming a factor for Louisville. It is so cold and bitter with the wind blowing. Everybody's standing around tight like this. They're shivering the players on the field, and that seems to be how Louisville's offense is playing right now. People are not stretching out for balls, not getting their arms away from their body. Tight seems to be the word right now, and it's because of the cold.
20 degrees. I told you wind chill down to 0. About a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind throughout. Ragone's in trouble. Going to heave it. And no one there. It's incomplete. Damian Dorsey, the intended receiver.
Holly makes a great point. It's not always the players, as I mentioned, when you're on the field and running around, it's easy to stay warm, but it's the guys who are on special teams, the guys who back up, who aren't on the field full time, those are the guys who make a difference when they come on the field. And if they're not feeling warm and comfortable, they're not going to fly around the field.
Chris Sabori to punt it for Louisville. Low line drive into the wind. Red Stock says get away. To the 28-yard line.
At the 28. The Rams will take over on offense, first down.
ESPN's Capital One Bowl Week continues. Coming up shortly, LSU and number 17, Georgia Tech in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. The Culligan Holiday Bowl, number 12, Texas, and number 11, Oregon at 8:30 Eastern. That's tonight on ESPN. Don McPherson, give me some picks in those games. Who you like?
I like Georgia Tech.
All right.
And I like Oregon.
You like Oregon?
I like Oregon.
All right.
I know that makes you happy. I know you're a West Coast guy. You like those Oregon State.
Well, I don't necessarily like them, but I do live on the West Coast. You're right about that. Newton's throw is almost intercepted. Antonio Roundtree. And as well as Colorado State has run the ball, with a 5-point lead and 5 minutes left, they go right up on 1st and 10.
Well, they played the entire game that way. They were going for it on 4th down the first half, and here they are with the kind of the backs to the wall. The run game's been going well for them, and that ball just kind of sailed out there and started to duck a little bit. By duck, I mean go end over end because of the wind on the field.
You just like Oregon a lot. 2nd down and 10. Let's see if they keep it on the ground with Sapp. He's over 100 yards, but not on this one. And Louisville tackles him out of bounds. I know there's 5 minutes left, but still it stops the clock.
And Rich, you do bring up a good point about throwing the ball deep on 1st down like that. Now with a run game getting stuffed, they're looking at 3rd and long.
Well, they've got 3rd and long right now. Donnie, had they merely handed the ball off twice,
right,
they would have run at least a minute and a half off that clock right now. And they'd still probably be better off than 3rd down and long.
Exactly.
Nick Holt, the defensive line coach for Louisville. Big play here on 3rd and 11. Newton in trouble. Down he goes. Lost the ball. Still loose. I think Colorado State has it back. They do.
All the way from Fort Collins, you could hear a whoosh, because that would have put Louisville in an excellent position to get points back on the board.
And now, maybe the most important player of the second half is on the field. There's a look at that fumble. Donovan Arp forced it. Joey Huber hit a 73-yarder with his last punt, and it pinned Louisville inside the 5. Huber. Not this time. Branch. Deion Branch didn't want to see another one roll, and he made an acrobatic catch.
Well, Deion Branch was lined up about 60 to 70 yards away. That's why he had to make up so much ground. He was expecting another 70-yard punt, and he had to make up so much ground just to get to where the ball was going to land.
And now we'll see what's in the tank for Louisville.
You see the end of it. Branch was just charging for about almost 25 yards before he got to that ball, and lucky enough to fall on it right away.
On 1st and 10. Here comes the blitz. Ragone's got time. And incomplete. He was looking for Arnold Jackson.
And this is where Dave Ragone and the Louisville offense has to show some patience. There's 4 minutes left in this ball game. It's plenty of time to get points on the board. They've been doing well with the vertical routes, but they also haven't exploited what's going on underneath. They got some shots in the mouth of their receivers with those crossing routes underneath. They need to go back to that and go down this field in a patient manner.
2nd and 10. Ragone in trouble. Still on his feet. Still on his his feet, and he's down to the 40. It's a gain of 3. The clock continues to roll, and Louisville is faced with a rather large 3rd down.
Ragone was looking for that crossing route that I spoke of coming underneath, and you saw him kind of pull the ball back a couple of times. He was going to throw it, but he saw coverage. He did the smart thing and pulled it down and fought back for a tough 3 yards.
Ragone throwing to Branch, who's hit, and it's incomplete. High pass from Ragone. He almost killed his wide receiver, Deion Branch.
And he had his running back Stallings in the flat and chose to go downfield, and that's what I talk about, patience. Go with the man who's going to get you some yards after the catch, the easier throw, less congestion.
Louisville will go for it on 4th and 7. Without a huddle, Ragone looks to the sidelines. It's their first 4th down attempt of the day. Here comes a blitz. Ragone caught at the 42. John Howell, the senior who grew up on a cattle farm in Mullen, Nebraska. Not a very big town, but a rather big play for the first-team Mountain West pick.
This may be the biggest tackle of Howell's career. Coming down the line after showing a little blitz, you get the reaction. John L. Smith knows that may be his team's last chance in this ball game.
2 timeouts left for Louisville, so they have time to stop the clock and get it back, but they cannot allow many yards, and they can't allow Cecil Sapp to do this. Cecil Sapp inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Rashad Holman. The defense has stopped Louisville. Now the offense tries to run the clock out.
With so much tension.
Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl coming up. LSU and Georgia Tech. We'll get you there right after the finish of this one.
And so much attention has been paid, or should have been paid actually, by the offensive line of Colorado State and the job they've been doing blocking for Cecil Sapp. But he has done a tremendous job once he gets that first contact of getting out of the grasp.
That would be first contact by Donovan Arp, and there was no getting out of that grasp.
These guys are making me look bad. I'm trying to make a point.
What were you
Cecil,
saying?
Break the block, break the tackle, would you? I'm talking about you up here.
Louisville takes a timeout. Not done yet. 2.5 left in the Liberty Bowl. 22-17 Rams.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody in Indianapolis, Chicago, Mississippi.
Terrence Gibson and Justin Gallimore, the 2 corners, have played well for Colorado State. So has Cecil Sapp. So much so that he's been awarded our Capital One Player of the Game. 31 carries, a career high, 134 yards. However, they would like Cecil Sapp to pick up about 13 more yards. That way, Colorado State can head back to Fort Collins with the Liberty Bowl trophy. Louisville has a timeout left. It's 2nd down. It's Sapp again, and he's upended at the 25. Mark it at the 24. Cardinal will use another timeout. And a big 3rd down is coming up. Don McPherson, this is our final game of the season. Our crew here today, and a chance to thank some people with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl coming up. Our cameramen throughout the year, Dan Roach, Mark Stillman, Nick Myers, Mike Stahl. Special guest appearance, Todd Marshall today. LSU and Georgia Tech is coming up shortly. Here on ESPN as Capital One Bowl Week continues. Operating those cameras today on a cold day is not easy. Our thanks as well to technical director Mike Point, Mike Giacalone, our audio engineer, Richard Duncan, Ernie Dunlap, Russell Lipkin in the truck. Renee George has been with us throughout the year. She saved the anemometer from blowing off the roof today. Steve Ackles, our production assistant. Associate producer Susie Hinsdale. Associate director Tim Sullivan. Our producer throughout the season has been Sarge, Brian Carter, and John Del Vecchio. Our director. Spotters Ryan Church and John Scalio. Tony Britt, statistician. All of our ESPN crew have enjoyed this season throughout the Big Ten and the ACC and the Big East. The SEC, we've been a lot of places, seen a lot of football.
Certainly has been a fun year. It kind of flies by when you work with a great bunch of people.
3rd down 5. Newton calls a timeout. Colorado State has a timeout left. And Matt Newton is on his way over to the sideline to talk it over with the coaching staff. Colorado State staff almost left. Sonny Lubick interviewed for the USC position. The seniors on his football team came to his office and they said, we support you, coach. If you want to go to USC, great for you. And USC went another direction, and the players weren't real happy about that. They felt that felt Sonny should have had the job.
That's right.
All right. 22-17, Colorado State on top of Louisville. 3rd down 5 as Colorado State tries to run the clock out in the Liberty Bowl. Louisville needs a stop. Sack! Oh, boy! I think he's got it.
There's no question he has the first down. That is a huge run for Cecil Sapp. And that's what I was talking about. At the first initial contact, he keeps his legs moving, shows his upper body strength. And you can hear that thud, that pad on pad. And Cecil Sapp wins the battle.
Make no mistake, Colorado State is happy that Sonny Lubick is staying in Fort Collins. Matt Newton told us yesterday he thinks USC missed a pretty good chance. Sapp again to the 17. Clock continues to run. Louisville cannot stop it. The champions of Conference USA and the champions of the Mountain West in what has been a very high-quality bowl game. Both teams have played well. Newton to Sapp down to the 15. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is coming up.
This game has been everything we expected out of it.
John L. Smith, who has done a tremendous job of building the Louisville program. They were 1-10. He went 7-5 and 7-5 and 9-2.
And Rich, if I may take a moment and wish you and your wife, Renee, good luck with the baby coming. No phone calls today, so we're safe.
Safe for another few days.
That's right.
I appreciate that. 3rd down. Sapp again. Sapp! 5. He'll stop there. And the clock will run out on the Liberty Bowl. 2 old friends, Sonny Lubick and John L. Smith. Look out, Sonny.
Well, let's hope it's been melted. Let's hope it's not a block of ice at this point.
Good job. Good job. You guys play your ass off.
Newton on a knee, and it's over. Don McPherson, nice working with you. Good ball game today. Colorado State wins the Liberty Bowl. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is coming up. LSU and number 17, Georgia Tech. Sonny Lubick comes back to Memphis, and this time he will head back to Fort Collins with the Liberty Bowl trophy. The Colorado State Rams champions of the Mountain West defeat the champions of Conference USA, Louisville. Final score from the Liberty Bowl, 22-17 Colorado State. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Don McPherson and Holly Rowe, I'm Rich Waltz. Goodbye from Memphis.